Hey, good day, folks. I welcome you to Hampton, Georgia, which is located in Henry County, 45 minutes southeast of Atlanta. I also welcome you to another episode of Andrew's Life. So let's drive through Hampton, Georgia. Now, Hampton, Georgia Hampton, Georgia's got a population of 8,166 people. It has experienced a 13.3% population growth as of the 2020 census. And this city was named after Ray Hampton, an American soldier in the Revolutionary War. Now, if you want to live here in Hampton, the median home price will be $325,000. However, there are houses currently for sale for lower than that price. If you want to purchase anything decent, you would need a minimum of $260,000. If you're looking just to rent, your median rent prices will go from $1,320 to $2,270 each month. And the crime here for both violent and property are well below the national average. And the racial demographics are going to be 39.6% white, 46.5% black, 1.3% Asian, 10.3% Hispanic. And as far as things to do here, obviously, like in many other smaller bedroom communities, if you want to get into the excitement, you're going to have to drive up into Atlanta. But if you don't want to deal with the traffic in Atlanta and you prefer to stick around town for entertainment, sometimes the Atlanta Speedway will hold different events. Then you got Jailhouse Brewing Company, so you can go there and drink you some fresh alcoholic beverages for those of you that drink. You got the Nash Farm Battlefield Museum, which is basically, it's called the Nash Farm Battlefield, but basically it's a museum loaded with Civil War history. And this museum has got a park in it with a picnic area to where you can go and eat your meal or just hang out. And that park area is located on the same field where the Civil War in this area was fought. And then moving on to Melvin L. Wrestling Center. But can't even talk. You got the Melvin L. Wetland Center. It's basically a place where you can go and walk around. And I should have done more research on it, but they do have a body of water there. I'm not sure if it's an actual river or if it's some other type of body of water. Then you got the Crystal Lake Golf and Country Club. You also got the Cana Wine Tour. I think it's Cana, C-A-N-A, Wine Tour. And as far as my 2 cents about the city, at this point, I'm not even going to get into what I think about the housing prices. You guys already know. I think they're expensive. But again, like I said on my last video, many of these communities that are within an hour of Atlanta, the housing prices are going to typically be up there. It's kind of like when I did my videos up in Nashville. Up in mid-Tennessee, rather. All the communities I did that were all within an hour of Nashville, the housing prices were considerably more expensive than communities that may have been a little further from Nashville. Even on the Kentucky side, it was like that. So same deal here in Georgia. I mean, anywhere that's within an hour of Atlanta, which just like Nashville is a big deal in Tennessee, Atlanta is a big deal here in Georgia. So same principle here in Atlanta, here in the greater Atlanta area. If you want to live anywhere within an hour of Atlanta, you're going to pay the price. This is all there is to it. Now, I will say that these communities are nice. They're plush, full of green. And many of these, and many of these lots are decent sized lots. So again, I will say if you're looking to live not too far from Atlanta, but don't want to be in the city, or you may not have the money to afford any of the suburbs right outside Atlanta, I would say this would be a decent place to at least take a look at. Now, bear in mind, if you move here to Hampton, you will be experiencing a considerable amount of traffic, both in the city itself, as well as traffic on 75 on your way up to Atlanta. So if you move here, just bear in mind, you will be sitting in some traffic, especially if you have to take regular trips up to Atlanta. But other than that, I would say if you're willing to pay the housing prices here, this is another decent place to live. Very low crime. I mean, maybe if you're one of these people that you may not want to pay $500,000 or better for a house just to not have to be in the hood. If you're looking to live somewhere where you ain't got to deal with as much, you don't have to deal with all the riffraff that comes with living in larger cities such as Atlanta, I mean, this would definitely be a good place to look at. And not to down talk Atlanta, but I would also say that unless you're living in a super ultra expensive community, if you're one of these people that you like the Atlanta area, you want to purchase a home in the area, however, maybe your job requires you to travel extensively, so you're going to be spending a considerable amount of time away from your house. If I were you, I would skip living in the city of Atlanta, and I would consider a place like this. Because this area seems to be, it's a lot quieter than Atlanta. The crime is much lower. And this place seems to be more or less of a city where you'll meet your neighbors, and you might be able to get at least one neighbor that you can trust enough to pay him a little bit of money and just keep an eye on your house while you're on the road doing whatever it is you do. Now, I just put out a video about a few days ago. I just put out a video about, let me think. I think I put it out just yesterday. I can't remember. I think it was yesterday I put out a video, and it was about this lady that was an officer in the United States military who recently had her house broke into, and the intruder was able to squat in that house. She had to go through certain procedures to get this individual out of her house. And of course, when he left behind a considerable amount of damage, to include include the smells of illegal substances in the house that she now has to deal with. I mean, this lady was apparently trying to sell her is apparently trying to sell her house, and this house is located in Atlanta, and the house is worth a little over $500,000. So if you want to know more about that situation, just feel free to go to that video. It's on this channel. But I would say if you want to cut down on your chances of having to go through stuff like that, then I would say your best bet would be to look at some of these smaller bedroom communities that are, that are at least 40 minutes or so outside the city of Atlanta. Alright folks, that's going to be off my commentary. I'm going to let you guys finish the rest of the video. So you guys know what to do. Subscribe, give me a thumbs up, comment below, do all that good stuff. I thank every last one of you in advance for doing all that for me. For those of you that have been doing that for me, for those of you that have been watching my videos regularly, I appreciate it. Because without you folks, I would not have a channel. So until next time, you guys have a blessed one.